on search warrants. This was the kind of thing that we had a revolution about. And it's also, this particular act is what allows the ruthlessness of how we're treated at airports. If we stand by and say that we can have elderly people undressed and children molested and x-rayed top to bottom, and certain people run through the x-ray 2 or 3 times, tell you, if we can look at those x-rays on TV and say, oh well, I guess we have to give up a little bit of our liberty to be safe, then there's something wrong with this and we need to change. You know, about a year ago, the President sent somebody over to testify before a Senate hearing and explained a new position he held. And he said that he has this authority because it's not prohibited by the Constitution. So he buys in, the President buys in this argument that if it's not prohibited by the Constitution, he's allowed to do anything he wants. But it's written the other way. The only thing the President is allowed to do are those things that he is given explicit permission to do. When he came to announce and tell the people, and there was not much of an outcry by the American people, but he said that it is now an official policy of the United States that he can direct the assassination of an American citizen. No charges made, no trial, maybe a bad person. You know, bad people are supposed to have trials too, so that if we ever get accused of anything, that we get a trial. Everybody deserves a trial. Even Timothy McVeigh, these people get trials. And to prove his point, he has now assassinated 3 American citizens. And one happened to be the 16-year-old son of a guy that was accused, at least thought to be a pretty bad guy. The 16-year-old kid out barbecuing in his backyard. Even the Congress doesn't help much at all. The President assumes these powers, but the Congress delivered more powers to him on a platter, and the President thought that's the way he would break into New Year. It was on New Year's Day that he signed the National Defense Authorization Act. This means that he's repealing the posse comitatus, that he has said that Americans can be arrested not by the local policeman that's supposed to be in charge of that, or the local sheriff, but the army, the military can come in and make arrests. That was one of the main reasons why there was a revolution between the Texans and the Mexico, because that's what they started doing, and the Texans didn't like that. And we shouldn't like it either if our government's going to arrest American citizens by the military. But what do they do after they arrest them? Do they take him and give him a trial? No. They're denied a trial. They're denied an attorney. And they can be put in a secret prison, and they can be sent out of the country. There was one provision put in that bill that was even more atrocious. But that provision said that if you were arrested, and you were charged, and you were tried, and found innocent, if the federal government decided that they still wanted to arrest you again and put you in prison for life in a secret prison, they still could do it even if you were found to be innocent by a jury. Now, that was in the bill, but there was a young senator from Kentucky who was able up this notion that we are totally intolerant of other people, how they use their liberties. We generally aren't intolerant of how people use their religious liberties. We let people go to different churches, and if they don't want to go to church, they don't go to church, and we're fairly tolerant of that. But as soon as it comes to other personal habits, and for one group it'll be personal habits, the other group on economic matters, then they feel compelled that we have to take care of people. We have to be the nanny state. And it never ends. Once we make this assumption that the government can protect us against ourselves, there is no liberty left. The government is endless in taking away our liberty. But what is so nice about this, if we can be more tolerant of other people, it doesn't mean mean that we endorse what they do. And some people think that if you legalize something, if you legalize choice in religion, you don't endorse somebody else's religion. And we don't endorse what you read and study intellectually. Why is it if somebody is so overwhelmingly being controlled about what we put into our bodies? And you know, just today, I complain about all the things that control. They shouldn't have control over our bodies. You should have control over your bodies. There's one thing that has to be done if we're going to protect liberty. In our history, we certainly have had, and we still have remnants of it, of people being attacked and they lose their liberties because they belong to certain groups. Even today, the way the drug laws are being enforced, certain groups get much more punished than other groups on these drug laws, and that, as far as I'm concerned, is wrong. But at the same time, you should... You shouldn't be punished because you belong to a group. You shouldn't have any special benefits because you belong to a special group. There is a stronger understanding today of the need for this. This is one time it's okay to do it in your own self-interest. You do this because it's in your interest to live in a free society. It's in your interest to have your family live in a free society. I want to thank you very much for coming out, and if we do our job, we can continue this effort, we can continue this revolution. The revolution, which is an ideological revolution, is alive and well, and I thank you very much for inviting me to participate in this revolution.
Remember, go to your caucuses. Remember, get registered to vote. Sign up on the way out if Dr. Paul convinced you, if you didn't sign up on the way in. God bless Dr. Paul. God bless America. And thank you for coming. Good night.
I'm on your damn game trail. He and I were in Iraq together. Oh, is that right? Yeah. Online poker, I wouldn't even know how to do it. If you like it, I would. I got it.
Sign my book!
Yeah! America loves you, Mr. Paul. We love you. We love you. Thank you.
They try to get on buses, so you can turn these into passes.
Yeah, go upstairs. Go try it.
Yeah. Maybe 5 years ago when they stopped making it. Good night.